Sup, bro?
What's up, bro?
And welcome everybody to the show. This is Peliculas with the Bros. My name is Adrian.
My name is Ivan.
And Peliculas with the Bros is a show where me and my brother Ivan discuss a movie. Every week we discuss a new movie. Ivan, what's the movie of the week?
It's a show.
Oh.
An episode of a show.
Oh.
Called Succession.
Succession, the season finale, right?
Series finale.
Series and season and kaput.
Emotional finale.
Emotional, yes. But before we get into that, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Like I said, Peliculas with the Bros. We're a podcast. We're a YouTube show. Look us up wherever you listen to podcasts, Peliculas with the Bros. And hit that subscribe button. Also, we're on YouTube. Look us up, Peliculas with the Bros. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Let us know what you think about Succession, the series finale. Ivan, before we get into that, last thoughts on the movie Master Gardener, which we covered in last week's episode.
Forgot about it.
Yeah. I mean, this show just took up all the space. Didn't have any room for Master Gardener. What does that mean? I don't know. Should you watch Master Gardener? I don't know.
Sure.
Ivan.
Yeah.
It's time. It's time to put on our lentes, be rich, be New York citizens. Just be men for a couple hours. You know?
Yeah.
It's time to talk about Succession.
Yeah.
The series finale. It is written by Jesse Armstrong. The director of this episode is Mark Mylod. He actually directed one of our favorite films of last year, which is...
Oh, is it the eating one? The chef.
I'm taking it out of him.
I don't remember.
Come on.
The Menu.
Yeah, The Menu. So Mike Mylod, he directed a lot of the best episodes of Succession. Does that give you happiness in the back of your brain?
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction. What's that one song? Satisfaction.
That's it.
I needed like a little bit more synth from you next time because it's so gentle. And my little bop is like... No. It's like... Okay, too much. Ivan, if you can give me like a 1 sentence, 2 sentence premise of Succession, the series, what would it be? Just off the top.
A family fights for the CEO position of a media empire.
Okay. A family fights for the CEO position of a media empire. Can I revise that?
No.
Okay. Well, that's what it is. People, if you like that kind of thing, watch Succession. We're not here to sell you on Succession. We're here to talk about it. The cast of the show is aplenty. We have Nicholas Braun as Greg Hirsch, Brian Cox as Logan Roy, Kieran Culkin as Roman Roy, Peter Friedman as Frank Vernon, Natalie Gold as Rava Roy, Matthew McFadden as Tom Wamsgans, Alan Ruck as Colin Roy, Sarah Snook as Shiv Roy, Jeremy Strong as Kendall Roy. Should we go on? I think that's enough for now. For you, Ivan, what is Succession? What has it meant for you in the past years of your life?
Not a bad question.
Damn, that's good.
Yeah. I think it's just one of the greats. I'm glad to be a part of it. Glad to.
You're part of the cast,
I mean, emotionally.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is part of the great shows of our lifetime, quite possibly of everyone's lifetime. What were your thoughts going into this last episode ever of Succession? What were you like?
I was just theorizing and hoping and wondering, like, how are they gonna bow tie this in the end? Who's gonna come out on top?
For me, I felt the same way, but I had the same feeling that I had when like I'm watching the last game of a like series clinching playoff game, where my hands are sweating, my eyes are locked in, ready for every kind of mistake every player does. It really felt for me like a very It was dramatic. It was definitely like, I know I'm watching a show, but I felt like I'm in a competition. Who is gonna win? Mm-hmm. Even though I know ultimately the show is more focused on like the psychological part of characters more so than who's gonna win. But that's the feelings I got.
They're tied together.
But after watching it, what did you think of this series finale? Just like this episode in itself.
I thought like it just felt empty, but like on purpose.
Yes.
I was like,
you're feeling inside. You felt empty.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because it wasn't like a touchdown celebration sort of thing, which is like, I think the norm for TV shows.
For
super generally,
even for media in general, like content in general.
Like there's a winner.
Yeah.
There's no winner here.
Nope.
They all kind of lost, at least emotionally.
Yeah.
They're still rich.
I felt the exact same way, and it took me a day to like realize that just because I feel sad, that doesn't mean it was a bad episode. Mm-hmm. It means it's one of the best episodes ever. One of the best shows ever. Mm-hmm. Because for a show to leave you with like, I literally felt like just down. Mm-hmm. I was happy the show ended. I was happy how it ended. But at the same time, like, damn, I want more. I want better closure. But for a show to stick with its laurels, to be like, no, we're gonna leave you on this like deep dark spiral into hell. Mm-hmm. Bravo, bravo. Psychologically, the show messed me up, and for it to make me want Kendall to win, oh my god. I think that's something that happens in other shows. I think you can attest to this when you think about shows like that you've watched. I haven't watched Breaking Bad and Sopranos. Were you rooting for the anti-heroes in in those shows? And were you rooting for Kendall in this show or any of the characters who are anti-heroes?
I think yes, for both of those. Maybe less Sopranos because he was a lot more like. But even then, they made him relatable in their way. Mm-hmm. Breaking Bad. What's your deal?
No, keep going. You're just you're a natural soft-spoken guy, so gotta crank up the decibels on you. Go ahead.
Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad.
Just sit up there. Go ahead. Breaking Bad. Did you root for Walter White?
Towards the end, it's because he was so evil at the end. You're like, can someone kill him?
Yeah.
That's
so you did it.
But in the end, you're like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Secretly.
Did you feel the same way for Kendall?
I think because they set it up to make it feel like he would win, because he was getting like win after win after win after win. But before that, I was like, there's no way he's going to win because, like, his thing is that he always loses.
Yep.
You know? But, like, up to the last, like, 20 minutes of this episode, it was like he's on top. Like, that was the feeling.
And did that make you root for him?
Yeah.
Like, that's the question, right? Like, you're giving me his story arc and the things that the show was throwing you. But at the end of the day, in your heart of hearts, were you rooting for one of the characters?
I think yes, until Shiv said, you killed a guy. And I was like, oh, you're right.
Okay, we'll get into that. There's a thing that went viral on TikTok, I believe. I didn't consume it from TikTok. I got it through the interwebs, which is like how the names of the characters predicted how the show was going to end.
Shiv.
Uh-huh.
Kendall.
Kendall. Did they have a Kendall for it?
I don't know.
Do you remember? Have you seen this? What I'm talking about?
No.
Okay.
I'm just going through the names.
Shiv, you got it right. It's a backstab, like a shiv, like a knife. Womscan. The only thing that they found was there's like a baseball player in the 1910s or something, and his only claim to fame was getting a triple play, getting a triple out, like getting 3 people out.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's not known for anything else. So Wamsgan is known for that, and then it kind of predicted what Tom ended up doing in this show, which is taking out 3 people. I forgot what other character, but there was something else. But the Wamsgan one is like, oh,
pull, deep pull.
Let's talk about the show, the actual episode, how it went down. I don't know why it starts here, but essentially we have Kendall trying to round up all the votes for him to block the Madsen deal, right? From there, we have sort of Roman is lost in Barbados with his mom, and the brothers all go to Barbados, and they're trying to convince Roman to do something or to not do something. And that little piece where you see Roman just dead. He's done with life. And both Shiv and Kendall are trying to convince him to sway to one direction. And he just feels like a meatbag, and he acknowledges that. He's like, yeah, just do with me whatever I want. I'm okay. I just had a mental breakdown. I thought that was hilarious. But at this moment where Shiv versus Kendall is going 100 miles per hour with Shiv getting backing for Madsen, do you think it's swaying to one direction in any way?
What do you mean?
Who's going to win, Shiv or Kendall at this point in Barbados?
It's tough because they write it so well, because you can't really say like who is actually on top, because Shiv and Kendall are both like about fudging the truth.
Yeah.
Shiv, when she explained, I was like, oh yeah, sure, she's gonna win. And then Kendall, when he explained, I was like, okay, yeah, sure, he's gonna win.
Bullshit artist.
Yeah.
Finally, the reveal is Madsen is talking to other people other than Shiv as far as who's gonna get the U.S. role, the CEO role for Waystar, and then that like gut wrenching moment when Shiv finds out, and she doesn't want to like look at the eyes of her brothers because she knows she got fucked over. That's amazing. And then the sequence when they're just like talking on the beach, Kendall's selling himself, and they finally give it to him. My favorite part about that is just like trying to make him happy. And they're like, happy Ken. And he smiles. And she's like, smile, bitch. And he smiles. Just like that whole interplay was amazing. And the fact that you don't realize that, oh yeah, Kendall never smiles.
Yeah. Because when he smiled, I was like, this is a new person. I've never seen this face before.
Happy Ken. So good. The Madsen and Tom meeting.
Delish.
That was
Bon appetit.
That was so weird, but so good. Me and your wife are clickety clickety. Oh my god. At this point, did you think Tom was canned? Do you think something was going on here?
I felt for a bit that Tom was going to get something. Like, I mean, maybe like season 2 and 3, I was like, oh, Tom's going to die. But at that point, I was like, he's up there. Like, there's no way at this point they're going to just shoot him like a dog.
Right.
Like, he has to have something.
Yep.
And he got it. He got it.
So all this coalesces, and it makes the brothers unite. Shiv is back on with her 2 brothers. They go back to what was Logan's house, and now it's Connor's house. And they see a video of their dad singing. Did you like this little bit?
I think it was necessary. Like, the whole time Logan was this monster, like just disgusting. And this is like probably the singular one time where it was like an actual pure moment of him that like we have never ever seen before. Like, oh, he's a human still.
Yep.
Which is insane.
Yep, I agree. And it's, even though it's probably, I don't know, how realistic is it to happen? From what we've seen, it's probably not that realistic. But like Shiv said, when the light shone on you, you really felt warm, and I think it's plausible enough. We move on into everyone is at the boardroom. Kendall, Shiv, and Roman are in the office of their deceased dad.
Mm-hmm.
Kendall takes the chair, and they're like, he like visually asks them, "Can I sit on it?" And they're like, "Come on, just sit on it. Nothing's gonna happen." And he sits on it, and then immediately he becomes like super powerful. I love that. Like his whole demeanor just changes, and then Stewie comes in.
Yes.
And this is like my favorite line in the whole episode. Stewie's like, "I'm a complicated guy," and Kendall's like, "You're not complicated. You like pancakes and waffles, and you like to kiss guys on Molly." And he's like, "Oh, okay, you're right." Just like that whole interplay was amazing. And then we get the vote, the final vote, and in this, it's like expertly set up because you have like all the key players throughout the whole show here. Ewan's here, even Ewan's here. And then the vote's happening. Obviously, Kendall feels stupendous at this point with all the votes. He knows he has it. And Shiv, at the last moment, has a turn of heart. She turns coats, and there's this big breakdown scene between all the brothers in an isolated room. And Shiv basically says, "You know what? I can't, like, something happened. I can't vote for you." And Kendall's losing his mind. And the Roman and Shiv are like, "Yeah, you can't do it." For me, in the moment while watching it, I'm like, where did this come from, Shiv? You know?
Yeah.
Like to me, it felt kind of like unbelievable. Okay. Like, how can she just change her mind? She was so much against Tom and Mattson becoming the owners and whatever, you know? How can she just switch her mind? But after sitting with it, I kind of changed as well, like my viewpoint. What'd you think when watching it? Like, did it seem like the right choice or believable?
I think it was because, I mean, even the characters were like, "What? Why now? Like, what are you doing?"
Right.
So it was like, that's what we were thinking too.
Uh-huh.
And they don't, she doesn't really explain it, like.
Correct.
The step-by-step, like what exactly triggered that. It was more like she just said, "I'm not about it right now."
Yeah. You know what did happen? Like, the things that happened between the time when she was like for sure gonna vote for him, and also the time when she said no, is when Stewie's like, "Hey, you should talk to Sandy," and she's like, "Okay," and she steps out the office, and when she comes back, she has like this determined look on her face. So do you think Stewie slipped something into Shiv's cocktail? You think Sandy said something? You think she just had her own epiphany?
Probably a mix of everything. Like, maybe Sandy said something very precise that would change her mind. But also, like, Kendall during the meeting, like, there was already red flags. Like, he acted that way, like, season 1, when he was talking to, like, Volter at the start. He was like, "Yo, what's up?" And, like, just being super casual and not, like, taking it serious.
Yep.
And he did the same there. And I could see, like, Shiv seeing that. Like, hold on. I've seen this before. And just that plus whatever Sandy said was probably, like, that flip.
Do you wish you would have saw something like that instead of us just assuming what it could be?
No. I think it's, like, realistic where you won't see every backdoor thing.
Sure.
Like, at the end, they were, like, cutting up Greg's things. Like, when Kendall asks Greg if Shiv was with Mattson, like, they didn't show that. Just, like, the window.
Yes, right.
And then when...
Not everything is explicit.
Yeah, and then this episode when Greg tells Kendall like he has something like amazing, and then that was off camera too.
I love that scene when Craig's like, I got something so amazing. Like,
Yeah.
can we quad it up again? The final scene. Well, after all that, it was just so much that was going on there with Kendall saying, like, you have to vote for me. You're being stupid, Shiv. And then Shiv's like, well, you killed the guy. And then Roman's like, your sons are not even your sons. And
I like his face grab. Like, what did you say? It was so unnatural how he did it.
yeah,
Like, it wasn't like, it was very, I don't know.
specific.
Yeah.
It's specific and not like owning his face.
Yeah. Like, it wanted to, like, go in his skull, but I don't know. It was just very.
I read an interview with Jeremy, and he's like, I literally wanted to gouge his eyes out. I was like, yeah, man, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Shiv says no. Kendall loses it. He loses the vote. And the final scenes are Roman drinking a martini, which, do you know the symbolism behind that?
I heard it means he's free or something.
Also, it was Jerry's drink of choice.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Shiv and hubby, Shiv and Tom in the car with the classic
He's like,
semi-handhold. Shiv's like, congrats. And he's like, oh, no. Nope. Remember that?
No.
In the car, Shiv's like, congrats. And he's like, oh, no.
I don't remember.
No. And he goes.
What a king.
And then Kendall just looking out at the water.
With his bodyguard.
The Grim Reaper, some might say. Tom winning. But what does he really win?
Peace.
What?
Peace. No more fighting.
Is it? Because what does Madsen say? You're going to be a pain sponge. You're just going to be like the face. You're going to be my puppet.
Yeah. But I feel like what he dealt with Shiv and Kendall and them is like way worse than whatever. And he did the cruise thing too. Like that was like all that. It can't ever get worse than that.
It can get worse, but it can be just continuous lifelong suffering, which is
yeah.
It's like horrible, you know? It's like what I'm trying to say is like he becomes the CEO, and yes, he gets like that round of applause, which I mean that might be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, he's still just like a sucker for being like Madsen's puppet.
But it's only like work stress. Like before it was emotional. Like now it's no more emotional anything. Like now there's no emotions because shit's probably like dead inside.
Sure. I mean, work can kill you too.
Yeah.
And his work is his life.
Yeah.
In that speech when he was talking to Madsen, he's like, I'm just like the type of guy that is always looking over his shoulder, seeing who's going to kill him. I'm always worrying. I'm always thinking about the next thing that's going to happen wrong. And I mean, that's probably going to kill him at the end of the day, not like some gun pointed at him by a right-wing or a left-wing activist.
But in like 40 years.
What?
In like 40 years.
I don't know, man. Who knows? Maybe I don't know. I mean, the show ends like perfectly because I was listening to an interview where the show creators like, who knows? Maybe Kendall calls Shiv right after that water sequence, you know?
Yeah.
And things change from there. But it's just like, to me, it's just like showing how cyclical things are. Mad Men, like the way it ended with like this kind of epiphany that Draper has, and like potential for like a great life, and of course that Coca-Cola ad just kind of symbolizing happiness almost.
Yeah.
This one is more like back from square one.
But they're free. They're free from the succession battle, which I think is the most like hard part of the last 4 years for them.
That's true. I mean, I think that's a way to look at it. But what makes you think that Shiv is not gonna just try to continue trying to upend her husband?
I don't think she has any power anymore for that. Maybe emotionally, but still, like, the thing with Tom was that he was always like kind of submissive to her because she had the power in every way.
Mm-hmm.
Like next in line to be CEO, she was richer, better family. Now pretty much like all that's gone. Like maybe better family, but her family's like he's seen her family, so like who actually has a better family?
Yeah.
And now he is CEO of the company her dad owned, technically. And then Mattson, who will just never have Shiv do anything out of his safety.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think that's what makes this. I think that's what ending it like it does great, because the potential is a many. Like the way Madsen looks at Shiv and the way he makes mistakes just as clumsily as Kendall does means that Shiv is always going to be in play. Like, what makes you think the same guy that says like, I want to have sex with your wife?
But he also said like, because of that, I have to kind of separate that. So I think he's smart enough to see like, oh, that's a problem, and then do his best to like push that away.
I agree.
But if she was around, then he would mess up for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a way to view it, and I think since the show ended that way, that's more likely what would happen. But I can see a potential where anything can happen.
Well, yeah.
Are you happy that there was no other death?
I mean, they all kind of died in their own way.
True that.
But I was good.
Okay. From start to the end of these characters, Kendall, he basically almost has the CEO in the very first episode, and then he loses it. Roman, I kind of forget what he was doing in the first episode.
I think he just was like a company man. Like he was just there.
He's just around.
Yeah.
In this one, he's just out.
Yeah.
That was like a horrible feeling that I had for him when he had to sign those papers.
He's like, okay, let's get this over with.
With Madsen right there.
Yeah.
And then Madsen's like, love you, Brad. And he's like, yeah, whatever.
Horrible.
Jeez. And then Shiv also was just kind of around at that time. It was also obviously more focused on Kendall. And this one, she just is the interesting thing is like Tom was Shiv's.
Yeah.
And now Shiv is Tom's more so. At least there's more equality between those two. What do you think is the main message Jesse Armstrong is trying to say about all of this?
The poison drips through.
Yeah. I'll take that slap of a hand. High five. I think it goes back to the cycle of like horror that is huge businesses like this.
But in the end, there's nothing like cataclysmic as far as like the business. No. Like they just got sold. And then the cataclysmic event was them not having anything. It's funny because like they're all going to make $1 billion. Yeah.
But them not having anything is what the show makes you feel. But it's because they feel so empty. And I think that's the takeaway. It's like all these people are just like, they look like humans, but they're empty inside. And it goes back to what Roman was saying. We're bullshit.
Yeah.
Which is disgusting. I have some ideas for you for spin-offs.
Okay.
Not saying that they're going to happen, but these are some of my favorite spin-off ideas. The first one, Roman. And it's Roman travels the world. And he's just like learning how to be a human being on this earth without like trying to be part of a business. And he goes like to different parts. He finally, maybe he finally becomes gay 100%. That'd be awesome.
Okay.
The second one spinoff is called Tom and Shiv, and it's basically like Tom and Jerry, where like Tom and Jerry are always trying to kill each other.
So it's like noises, like with the mallet, and
Yeah.
Shiv's like.
Yeah, exactly. And then opposite, like Shiv finds a way, and Tom's about to die. Second one is Kendall the Good Businessman.
Okay.
This is Kendall just like trying to be like the wokest of woke people.
Yes.
But like failing because the evil does drip through. And then he has to like every episode's like, oh man, the poison got me this time. I'll do better on the next business. Obviously, like a little souped up than that, but another one, Greg's sitcom episode.
Okay.
So it's like Greg as the assistant, but it's just like sitcom, laugh track, all that. And like you see Tom like cameo every once in a while.
Yes.
That'd be good. Jerry, girl boss.
Pass.
Okay. Carl and Tom on an island. It's like
Pass.
Gilligan's Island, but Tom and Carl. Carl and Tom. Last one. I think this one's my favorite. Connor does England. So he becomes like the English, ambassador for Great Britain.
Yeah.
And it's just him dealing with like all the politicians in England and just making a fool of America.
I like it.
Okay. That's my pitch. Any episodes that any shows that you would want to watch spin-off?
Just a Greg one. I would watch Greg.
Sitcom? Or your own?
Similar vibe.
Okay. What about Kendall in the future?
I don't want to.
No? End it here.
Because I like that there's a chance that he could have died too.
Gotcha.
And if it's in like 50 years, like, oh, he just got over it, you know?
Remember when I was saying the Jeremy interview? He said that there was a part that was cut from this where he actually tried to jump in the water. And that the bodyguard actually saved him from going in the water. Like he stopped him.
Right.
And he was talking about like how he likes how the actor tried to stop him because it imitated like real life. Like it's just such a weird thing of method acting where he's like, oh, he tried to stop me. It was like real life, but it's like, no, he was trying to stop you because you're being dumb.
Yes.
But it's cool to think of it that way. And then they asked him, Jesse calls you in 10 years and says he has an idea for Kendall Roy. Are you picking up the phone? And he says, Jesse calls me anytime, any year, anywhere. I'm listening.
Smart man.
Ivan, on the best shows ever list.
Top 5.
There's Sopranos, Mad Men, Breaking Bad, The Wire. There's this show. Any other show you want to throw in honorable mention? Is Barry there?
I haven't finished it. I don't think so. Maybe top 10, top 20.
Okay.
It's a good show, but
name your top 3 shows of all time.
I think it's tough. Mad Men, Succession. Probably some comedy. I don't know.
Oh, like 30 Rock type of thing?
Not 30 Rock though. But yeah.
Interesting. Mine would be Mad Men number 1,
Okay.
Succession number 2.
Okay.
And Succession is damn near perfect. Like, I think the only reason Succession isn't number 1 is because it's not. I think Mad Men is like my perfect cup of tea.
Right.
Where Succession isn't that, and
Yes.
it's also not something that like leaves you on a high.
Yes.
Like Mad Men sometimes does. But damn, this show is so freaking good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've already rewatched seasons 1 to 3 like twice or 3 times, I think, and that's saying a lot.
It's a good show.
Ivan, the future of TV. Right now we're in a writer's strike, which means there's no shows. There's probably like no good shows gonna come out within 6 to 12 months from now.
Yes.
Or
movies.
Movies as well. What do you think? Where do you think we're going?
And what?
TV wise, like is there any rumblings of good shows coming out? Is there any rumblings of good shows never gonna come out again? What do you think? What's the future of TV? More of
it's
this?
only gonna get better.
Okay.
It's like benchmark, and then 10 years, some other show is gonna make this look like poopy.
It's interesting too, cause like, I think when when Game of Thrones came out, people were like, dang, this is gonna be forever until we get another like Game of Thrones.
Right.
And though Succession wasn't on the level of Game of Thrones as far as popularity,
Yes,
it was as good quality wise as Game of Thrones, right? So I think like we won't have to wait long, is what I'm saying, for the next great thing. I just don't know what it is yet.
I feel like more and more the shows are just that are coming out are getting better. Like base level 8.5.
I don't know. I don't agree with that actually, because like Netflix produces shit.
But I mean, it's easier to find that good show.
Easier to find. I mean, I don't think that's true either, because like you have 20 different subscription-based networks.
But I mean, you could Google like Reddit. What's the best shows 2023?
Sure.
And that list will be pretty accurate.
Sure. Yeah. But that's thanks to the internet, not thanks to like the proclivity of actual more good shows coming out.
But I think like they go hand in hand, like because it's so easy to access the good shows. The people who make shows are gonna be like, oh, we actually have to make good shows because people will be honest.
Yes. Yeah. Thanks to the internet, things are more truthful. Last thing, Ivan, let's rate this episode.
5.
And then we can rate the series. Out of 5 blades, out of 5 shivs, how many shivs is this
5.
in the series?
5.
A perfect 5 for 5?
Yeah.
There's episodes that were lacking, so I'll give it a 4.75.
Okay.
Did you watch Little Mermaid?
No.
Okay, cool. It's time for a section called
Things and Such.
I watched Little Mermaid. You said you were going to watch it.
I don't feel like it.
Did you watch any movie?
Nope.
Okay. Little Mermaid, Rob Marshall is the director of this movie. He did Chicago, Into the Woods, and Mary Poppins, the last Mary Poppins. The one thing about Little Mermaid is that it has banging music, like the original. So to build off of that, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
That being said, I really liked this movie, and I don't know if it's because I never really paid attention to the original.
Right.
And there's a lot of people saying that these remakes are bullshit because they're just like regurgitating and not doing anything new. And not only are they regurgitating, they're just not creating like, they're not giving their own spin. They're just doing like a shot for shot and maybe too naturalistic. Do you agree with that take as far as like, should these movies exist?
I just have so little opinion on that. Just because, like, I don't care if they're made. Like, it's not taking away from the movies I want to watch.
And you're not the target audience?
Yeah.
It's not like your cup of tea either way.
Like, if this gets made, that doesn't mean we're not getting Succession movie, you know? Like, this completely different things.
Or, so the next question to that is, are original Disney movies your cup of tea?
No.
Okay. Then that's fine. That's the thing. Because, like, the argument is, like, since this movie is being made, original Disney movie is not being made.
Oh.
Right? But since it's not even your wheelhouse.
But that was, like, I think these Disney people got to get over it. That was, like, 50 years ago. 100 years ago, Little Mermaid, And all these movies that are like the jewels of Disney, they're made like how long ago?
Yep.
And these Disney adults are still trying to, like, I think the time's gone. Like, you're, not you, but you're hoping for something that won't happen anymore.
Like, who's hoping for something that won't
Those
happen?
people who want original Disney, like animated or whatever, like, it's not going to be Disney anymore who does it.
Gotcha.
If you want that, it's going to be like some A24 animation studio.
Which there isn't. I guess that's a good point, too, because, like, who is the next Pixar? Who's the next Disney? Because there was Disney at first.
It's Sony. It's not Sony, but it's Spider-Man, Spider-Verse. Like, that's the next thing.
That is one of the great next things.
Mm-hmm.
But are they making... Who's going to be, like, the... Every 2 to 3 years, we're getting another great kids movie. It's not Sony or...
Could be. It could be that team. They could just become the next Pixar.
They could, but will they? Like, I think they're... And who's this team you're talking about? Like, Lord and Miller?
No, the Sony animation team.
Oh. Yeah, I guess they're... you can kind of say them, but they've only made 2 movies in 6 years or something?
Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, just animation-wise.
Yes. No,
like,
yeah.
That's way different than anything that's been done now.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool if they, like... The thing is, like, to make constant content, or at least to make classics every 3 years, that's a shit ton of work and a shit ton of people. And you start becoming, like, the monster. What I mean by that is, like, you become... At first, you're Pixar. You make a movie every 3 years, and they're classics.
Yeah.
And then you become, like, the next level of Pixar, which is a new movie every year, but they're not as good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that middle ground that you have to find. And
yeah. I don't know. Things could change. Maybe they'll learn from Pixar. They'll be like, well, look what happened to Pixar. Let's not follow their path precisely.
Correct.
I don't know. I don't think it's like a set fate. Like this animation, Sony animation are going to turn into that. I don't know. It just depends.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I wonder what Sony animation would take as, like, not Marvel related or not. Like, it would be interesting for them to pick up a new thing that isn't Spider-Man. That would be, like, from the creators of...
The Spider-Verse trilogy.
Right. What would they do next?
Up to them.
That'd be pretty dope.
I mean, this is like their debut sort of album, like these 3 movies.
3?
There's going to be another Spider-Man.
Oh. Like right away?
I don't know. I just know it's like a sequel. Like, I think it's part 2. Because for a while it was like part 1, part 2. It might just be a sequel now.
Wait. So, you're saying for sure that the 3rd movie is gonna come out?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. But you don't know when it's gonna come out?
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. I guess that's gonna keep them busy for another 5 years because this one took forever. Anyways, I liked Little Mermaid.
Out of 10?
Out of 10?
Sure.
8. Out of 5? 4.
What?
I mean, the next movie is gonna be Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Nice.
You excited for that?
Yeah.
You already watched it?
No.
Because the way you're talking about it, it seems like you know it's awesome.
I mean, it has to be.
Oh, there's a prediction right there. So out of 5, what are you gonna give
I
it?
think it's like a 4.
4. I give it a 4.5. Wow. But we'll see. What have you been watching?
A little more Atlanta. I haven't finished it. I'm getting close. It's pretty good. More surreal, but still
Season 3?
4.
Oh, you're close. That's the final season, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good. Funny.
Do you like it better than the first 2 seasons?
Mm,
Do you like the more surreal it gets, or do you like the first 2 seasons, I should say? Or
I just like how it goes back and forth, like so it like keeps it fresh.
is it almost like anthology?
A little bit. I was thinking like Chappelle Show because they do like episodes that are just like skits
Yeah.
that could be skits in his show,
Yeah.
but they're played serious. It's a good show.
What's Gambino's next thing?
He has a show right now on Amazon, Swarm. I haven't watched it.
Oh.
But he's good. Like, I think this is better than any of his albums.
His albums were weird.
Like, they're good albums, but this is a really good show. Just on its own.
I don't know. For me, Gambino's like, he's not doing enough.
I think he's just gonna not. I think he's gonna be more like Rick Rubin, or just like a manager.
I want him to be like Peel, where he like does his own original thing. Doesn't have to be like all the time, but like I know I've heard of Swarm too, but I don't feel like that's just his voice. That's like him and other people, him being an executive producer type of thing.
But that's what I would want to do, like make my Atlanta and then just help. Or that's what Adam McKay does. Like he does his own thing, and then occasionally like directs season 1, episode 1 of Succession.
But he does his own thing, is what?
Yeah,
yeah. I don't think Gambino does too much of his own thing.
But what I think, well, if you compare him to Adam McKay, Adam McKay's movies are like once every 4 years. What's
2 years, 3 years?
Donald Glover's? He's doing a show. He did a show, and he's doing another show. Maybe this one's executive producing, but I don't know. I just think they're pretty comparable as far as output.
He is young too.
Yeah.
For now he's like, what is he considered, like a?
He's like 30.
A producer. Is he gonna ever act again? Like, I feel like he is gonna shy away from the limelight and just be behind the scenes more, like how you're saying.
I think he's the type to just go with like whatever idea is up. Like maybe no idea will be shown to him that like involves him acting for like the rest of his life, and he just doesn't act anymore, but not because he doesn't want to. Just it never came up again. I think that's like the situation he's in.
Favorite album of Gambino?
Can't name a single one.
Break the Internet?
Oh yeah.
Is it Break the Internet? No, it was the Internet. Something Internet.
Something the Internet.
And then the
Awaken My Love.
Yeah. Which one do you like better out of those two?
They're too different. I mean, I won't listen to them.
You don't listen?
They're good.
The Internet one, I was like kind of bumping a lot, but there was a lot of misses on that.
Mm-hmm.
He has like moments in songs, not even like moments. I don't think there's ever a song. The only song he's ever did that's like a classic is obviously everyone knows that.
2005.
No.
Oh.
The one from Awaken My Love.
That one?
No, but that one's pretty good too. Now that you mentioned it.
He's pretty good, actually.
He's a good guy, isn't he? I watched the first episode of Barry. And just the first episode. That's all I had time for.
It takes a bit. It was my second try after watching. I watched like 3 episodes the first time. I was like, pass.
That's the thing about like TV.
Yeah.
That you need to invest quite a bit of time. And I know that. I didn't watch. I'm like, I know it's not going to be mind-blowing at the first viewing.
Yeah.
It's about the accumulation of everything. I'll get to it. One thing I did do is today, actually, I canceled most of my subscriptions. So shout out to you because you're probably not going to access some of those things anymore. But were you using my HBO one?
No.
Oh. And I had this idea the other day where I'm like, the only things I watch are Succession and like probably some other random thing randomly. Why don't I just buy the thing I want to get and just like buy Blu-ray with the digital thing as well.
Yeah.
And I'll probably not spend as much money that way.
Mm-hmm.
And that way I'll curate my library a little bit better and I won't be paying monthly this stupid figure. Because now HBO is like 15 at least. What do you think about that? Did I make the right choice?
I mean, it depends. Like I only did that with Mad Men, buy like the digital version, just because like it's like that's my food right there.
Yep.
Like I gotta have that in stock. But I can't really picture doing it with any other show. Just because I don't know. Like you would have to really do the math. Like how many more times am I gonna watch Arrested Development in my life? Is it worth paying $100 for the whole series?
What are your how much TV do you consume? Like, or not even TV. Yeah, TV as in shows and movies.
New or anything?
Anything.
Not much.
Okay.
I think it's when like I hear a show's good and it's been like 2 seasons. That's when I'm like, okay, let me crank this out.
And what about rewatching shows other than Mad Men?
It depends if it's mood based and if I haven't watched it in a while and I need something in the background.
So
like it's not predictable.
Okay. So let's say yeah, I guess in your case, and what's your subscription services? You have Netflix,
HBO. Sometimes I get Amazon, sometimes I get Hulu for like a month.
Yeah, I think it works out for you a little bit better. I think for me, it's like I want to get Succession, I want to get Mad Men, and I don't know.
I might get Succession, but I mean, there's just so many shows where I don't really I could rewatch, but I don't really care enough to. Succession feels like I should rewatch that.
Right.
Where most shows, I don't know if it's a should rewatch.
Yes.
Maybe I will.
And like, how many shows do you really want to rewatch if you had to buy them? Not like even less, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that will really weed out. The only part where it's gonna hurt me is like when a good new show comes out. Like, okay.
If I had it's not even rich. I mean, if I had a good amount of a good chunk of money left over for whatever reason, I could see myself getting like Arrested Development all seasons, SpongeBob first 3 seasons, Office all seasons, all on like Amazon Prime, and then do that for like every single show that is like at least like an 8 out of 10 or above, and just have that on Prime, and then cancel everything. And then do like, okay, this show's coming out on HBO. Let me get a couple months.
But in 2 months, you're gonna be paying HBO $30,
mm-hmm.
right? With that, you can buy the first season of SpongeBob, which is that's the weirdest statement I've ever said, but I said it, so yes. I have to stick with it. But what I'm saying is like, you're not gonna use HBO other than Succession and.
But there's also a lot of shows on HBO that I still need to see.
True.
That I know are like 8 out of 10 or aboves.
Okay.
There's like 10 shows on there that I have to get to. Have to get to.
It's life or death. Ivan, Baby Keem, Kendrick Lamar, The Hillbillies. Did you listen to it?
No.
Okay. You're not up to the date.
Good. Is it a Lucy or is this new?
I would call it a Lucy. But like the vibe is amazing. Like you'll never see Kendrick this happy.
Okay.
Baby Keem is like bringing it out of him. And they're pretty rich. And like the video is just like home video type. So it looks cool. Just right. Like you can tell he's more free than he's ever been.
Kendrick,
yes. I rewatched 3,000 Years of Longing.
Wow.
Really good. And a great rewatch. Just wanted to throw that out there. And I'm watching the NBA playoffs. It's amazing. So many storylines
Lakers
are out. Remember when you're like, I hope LeBron dies?
I said something similar to that, yes.
I have even, like, when I say this, you're going to like, I hope this player dies, actually.
Okay.
Lionel Messi is going to make potentially $1 billion for playing 2 years for a Saudi Arabian team.
I don't mind that.
Son of a bitch.
Because he's just taking money from people who are just throwing it away. And likely he's going to donate it, a lot of it.
What?
Okay, he's not going to donate any of it.
Okay, let's assume he donates it.
Not all of it, but I mean, I think he seems like a good guy. Is he not?
Where are these assumptions? What makes you think he's a good guy?
His mannerisms, how he carries himself, his attitude. Like if you look at him and then look at LeBron, you could see like LeBron has like some meanness to him, but Lionel Messi, I don't see it too much, or at all.
I would disagree. I think they're basically like this kind of the same breed.
Okay.
Okay, look. I understand. You're getting paid $1 billion to play for. You're literally getting paid $500 million to play 1 year basketball.
Yes.
No one's ever made like more than $100 million to play 1 year.
Yeah.
So $500 million. That's like mind-boggling.
He's like going to soccer heaven if you think about it. Like he's in retirement age, right?
Yeah, but his skill level is still elite. Like
I don't know. I think he did a good route.
This is part of my like thing against him, because like when you're that good,
yes,
when you're still that good,
yes,
you could still contribute. You could still be part of a team that wants to win.
Okay.
Now, of course, do you want to play at an elite level?
Uh-huh.
That's like you should make your own decision. As in you as Lionel Messi, right? He should make whatever choice he needs to make.
Mm-hmm.
But you're making so much money, and you're also taking money from essentially princes
Mm-hmm.
from a country known to be homophobic, known to be what is it? Misogynist?
Yeah.
Misogynist? Stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like you're going to a state-ran team, basically.
Yes.
There has to
taking their money.
You're taking their money, but their money is essentially shit money. Like they don't care about that money because it's like they're worth trillions of dollars.
Right.
Point being, there is some kind of moral dilemma there.
Yeah.
But there's more dilemmas everywhere. I get it. I know America isn't the cleanest of people either, but it just seems very dirty.
Oily.
Some might say oily.
I see that, but I don't care.
Okay, that's fine. Everyone has their own right. Yeah, $1 billion. That's so crazy. LeBron's out of the playoffs, so you should be happy about that. The finals are occurring right now. Currently, it's the Heat versus the Nuggets. Quick plot points. Heat, they are the 8th seed, which is the lowest seed you can get in the playoffs, and they made it all the way to the championship.
Okay.
They beat the 2 best teams on the Eastern Conference, so that's notable. And on the other side of the country, we have the Denver Nuggets, who are in the finals. And they're notable because they have a player called Nikola Jokic, and he was an unheralded player coming into the league, and now he's the best player in the league.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Good guy. He's a good guy. I like him.
Yeah, you'll love him. He's a good guy. I think that's it, Ivan. Next week is going to be a doozy. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It'll be fun.
Put in the animation and then cover the screen.
I'll get it going.
Thank you.
I'll get my CGI people to do it. Right in my face? Oh, man. There it goes. Any parting words for the beautiful people?
Have a good day.
Have a good day. Peace out.
Bye.